am not letting you interrupt Dr.
Sorry, your life seems hard.
Hey guys, this is Spoonie, and this latest episode of My Adventures with Superman was easily the best one yet, so let's get right into it. Okay, picking up from the last episode, Lois is telling Clark that she feels Superman is a liar because she interviewed him and he was very evasive. She didn't get any real answers. Clark suggests to her that he might just be a guy with powers who wants to do the right thing, but Lois thinks that Clark is the only one who would be so altruistic. Jimmy has brought in a stack of tabloid newspapers. Having found no references to Superman on the internet or in any other sources, Lois has decided to broaden the scope of the investigation. They get called upstairs to Perry White's office. He's giving them an opportunity for them to showcase their reporting skills by assigning them to cover an Amazotech event. So Amazotech CEO Anthony Ivo is hosting a gala for investors, and the trio are assigned to get photos and to get quotes about Ivo from the other guests. Kat Grant is writing an article. This is just a supplementary for it, and she has provided questions for them to ask. Clark wants to address the possible criminal ties to Amazotech. Specifically, rumors that Ivo drove out an entire neighborhood so that they could bulldoze it and make way for Amazotech headquarters, and the fact that Amazotech is rumored to have sabotaged their competition. The Daily Planet won't print any kind of unsubstantiated rumors, so they're just directed to work on Kat's story. After changing for the gala, Clark and Jimmy head to the office and wait for Lois. Clark notices one of the tabloids mentions a flying boy in Smallville. He tears out the article and he stuffs it in his jacket pocket. Lois arrives and sparks fly between her and Clark before Jimmy cluelessly butts in. So the three arrive at the gala and Lois immediately throws away the questions that Kat wanted them to ask. She begins to target politicians and other business people with her own line of questioning. Clark does try to stick to the cards, but he finds that Lois has inserted a few of her own. The lights dim and Ivo takes to the stage. He welcomes everyone and tells them that he's going to be unveiling a new invention soon. An Amazotech board member approaches Ivo and informs him that he's going to soon be voted out as CEO. Ivo tells him that the upcoming presentation will change all the board's minds. Clark interrupts the two of them and begins to grill Ivo about his criminal ties. Ivo has Clark thrown out. Lois lets him back in, but he's torn his jacket. She's ripped so much clothing chasing stories that she keeps a small sewing kit on her. The two of them share a moment while she mends his jacket. It's interrupted when her dad calls, and she doesn't take the call. She opens up to Clark about her strained relationship with her father. We learn that her mother died when she was young, and they moved a lot because of her dad's work. In the comics, her dad is an army general. I believe that this will probably stay the same in the show, and this is probably just going to be used as a dramatic reveal at some point. Clark is about to tell Lois his secret when a crying woman runs out of a nearby room. They enter the room, and they find it full of the technology that all the villains have been using up until now. Ivo enters the party wearing a suit of technology that he calls Parasite 1.0. He highlights the villain attacks of the last 3 episodes and explains that the Parasite armor is designed for personal protection and that it's capable of functioning on a level comparable to Superman. To prove this, he grabs that board member and throws him out the window. Clark changes into Superman and is able to catch him. Superman faces off with Parasite. The armor absorbs kinetic energy and it makes him stronger. Superman figures that out pretty quickly and switches to defense. The armor's power levels are quickly exhausted as Superman is able to dodge all of the attacks. The armor then starts to consume Ivo's energy, leaving him a withered husk. Superman is able to rip it off before it can drain him any further. After things die down, our heroes return to Ivo's tech room only to find it completely empty. Outside, Lois and Clark are discussing the evening's events. She wonders if this counts as a date. Clark gives her his jacket to keep warm, and she kisses him on the cheek. As Clark walks Lois back to the office, Jimmy realizes he's become the third wheel of the group. Lois finishes her article on Ivo and submits it. She starts to tidy the office, and she finds that tabloid that Clark had ripped the Smallville article from. She notices that there is a page that's been torn out. She starts to re-examine the clues on the board. She finds the article Clark tore out and stuffed in his jacket. Looking at all the clues, Lois has a moment of clarity.
Clark Kent is Superman?
So yeah, this is easily the best episode yet. The show's momentum kept going even though there were a few slower, more intimate scenes. It's pretty obvious at this point that Lois and Clark are falling for each other. It's cute seeing the awkward moments, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all affects Jimmy and the relationship dynamic of the group. Ivo being reimagined as the Parasite is something I honestly didn't expect. There's a lot that happens in this episode, so the fight isn't particularly long or that interesting. But this is a cool reimagining of the character, and I definitely want to see where they can go with it. I think that Lois discovering Clark's secret is a great cliffhanger. Even though he almost reveals it himself earlier in the episode, having Lois deduce it first and that moment of realization was great. It also highlights what a competent investigator Lois is. The only Easter egg I really noticed in this episode was a reference to Galaxy Broadcasting at Ivo's Gala. The character that's shown when they mention Galaxy, it does not look like Morgan Edge, the character in the comics who owns Galaxy Broadcasting and also runs Intergang. It is possible that this is just a passing reference and that the man that was shown when they mentioned Galaxy isn't necessarily Morgan Edge. The man showed could be some random corporate officer. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Morgan Edge and this is more than a passing reference. Morgan Edge and Galaxy were more Jack Kirby creations when he came back to DC in the 70s. And the show seems to have a lot of Kirby references in it. Whether they go anywhere with it or not, I think just mentioning it is cool because it establishes that this organization, that these characters do exist in this reality, and it gives them a whole lot of potential stories. So this was a great episode and a show that's trying something new with Superman and actually manages to get better every week. I definitely am looking forward to the next episode. I hope you'll come back and check it out with me. I'll see you then. Bye.